And the question of January 6th and the attack is on the ballot as well. With her primary election less than 2 weeks away, Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney of Wyoming is out with a new political ad featuring her father, former Vice President Dick Cheney. Take a look.
In our nation's 246-year history, there has never been an individual who is a greater threat to our republic than Donald Trump. He tried to steal the last election using lies and violence to keep himself in power after the voters had rejected him. He is a coward. A real man wouldn't lie to his supporters. He lost his election, and he lost big. I know it, he knows it, and deep down, I think most Republicans know it. Lynn and I are so proud of Liz for standing up for the truth, doing what's right, honoring her oath to the Constitution, when so many in our party are too scared to do so. Liz is fearless. She never backs down from a fight. There is nothing more important she will ever do than lead the effort to make sure Donald Trump is never again near the Oval Office. And she will succeed. I am Dick Cheney. I proudly voted for my daughter. I hope you will too.
I'm Liz Cheney, and I approve this message.
Wow.
Make a pretty extraordinary ad there. Liz Cheney has a big uphill climb ahead of her. Doesn't care. She's standing there in the breach, leading the January 6th committee and saying this is much more important than winning an election. Maybe I'll lose and I'll take that deal. But she's trailing badly in the polls.
That is such a powerful ad delivered by a powerful man, her father, who is saying straight, looking Americans straight in the eye and saying this is a bad guy who's bad for America. And Liz doesn't care. She should win. She may not, but she will continue to fight, and she will win. He was saying a couple of things in that ad. John Heilman, I don't know if you had the same reaction I did, but I just took a moment. I was taken aback by that. I thought it was incredible.
Mika, I heard from liberals all day yesterday who were like basically expressing what I felt, which was like I never thought I'd tear up over seeing Dick Cheney on television. I mean, it's like there's just the reality is you look at that ad and what you see, and again, just put aside all your feelings about Dick Cheney and about the Bush administration. Put it aside for a second. What you see there is you see a father's love for his daughter. I mean, and
belief in her.
And his belief, and that transmutes into belief. And I have no doubt that Dick Cheney believes everything he said about Donald Trump, too. Again, someone who did a lot of things that a lot of us, a lot of people, a lot of Americans object to when he was vice president. But, you know, in this one moment in this ad, you can see at about 2 or 3 places where you can really see what looks like emotion from Dick Cheney pop through in that ad. And, you know, whether that will move the needle or not. I will say this, though. People talk about, Willie said he's right. You know, the polls say this and the polls say that in Wyoming. I'm not predicting any outcome here, but I've been saying this all along, and I'll say it again. Wyoming's is a really small state, and there's a very small number of Republicans who are going to vote in this primary. It's on the Republican side. And I do not trust the polling there. It doesn't mean I think Liz Cheney's ahead. It doesn't mean I don't think she has an uphill fight. Yeah. But I just have to say, you have a bunch of people running against her, including her main opponent, who people don't know. She is known, the Cheney name is known by 100% of Wyomingans. Yeah. It's a very volatile circumstance there with unreliable polling, a very small turnout electorate, and a ton of money and save Liz Cheney energy now pouring into the state in the final days. I still wouldn't bet on her winning, but I don't want anybody to think this is over, because I don't think it necessarily is.
It's not over, John Heilman, but what I heard from that ad was he believes that she will fight and win. And you know what? She might not win this. Of course, she might not win, but that doesn't mean she's not going to run for president. Ultimately, if you believe in democracy and you believe in America like Dick Cheney does, then you would believe in Liz Cheney, who will continue the fight and will ultimately win. If you believe in democracy, if you are considering yourself a citizen of the United States of America. That's what he was saying.
So let's just pause right here for a second, Willie Geist, and talk about how bizarre things have come in the Republican Party, have become in the Republican Party. That Dick Cheney is seen as a liberal by Republicans. That Liz Cheney is seen, Dick Cheney. That Liz Cheney is seen as a RINO because she doesn't support Donald Trump, despite the fact she has a 96% lifetime ACU conservative rating. Ideology, conservatism, none of it matters to this party. And this is about as perfect of a, if you could say like 5 years ago, we're going to do a lab test to see how much Donald Trump has corrupted the Republican Party, the Republican base, how much he has brainwashed them, how much he has turned them into a personality cult. I'd say, well, why don't you take Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney and put them in this experiment and see if they would be painted as libs and RINOs. And sure enough, here we are 5, 6 years later. That's exactly what happened. Now, I personally believe the consequences are going to be devastating for the Republican Party. They've already lost the House, the Senate, the White House. They may do well in 22. Long-term effect, I think it's going to be devastating. But let's just stop and look and see. We've talked about the issues, but just generally how radical they've become that Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney are RINOs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that is the primary attack on Liz Cheney in Wyoming, that she betrayed Donald Trump, which tells you the whole story, doesn't it? I mean, John's right. Progressive saying yesterday to me, I love Dick Cheney now. It's frying people's synapses. They don't know how to process what they're seeing right now. But yeah, I mean, what an incredible snapshot that Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney, who, as you say, are actual conservatives, are actual Republicans and not Trumpists and not cultists, that they are now being cast out of the party as RINOs. And man, it happened fast. And Joe, to another story that we're going to talk about, the party of Ronald Reagan yesterday at CPAC, giving a standing ovation to the authoritarian president of Hungary, who's against democracy. A standing ovation. All of these go together as that snapshot you're talking about of a party that's completely been taken over by Donald Trump.